You see me?
Yep, I can see you. I can hear you.
All right, fashion dolls. Happy Wednesday, March 11th, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Steve. Um, it is Women's. We are back with my very special guest, and I had him on last year. I want to say last year or this year, but he was also things set to be back on stage. Welcome back to the Dollhouse this year. Been for you thus far.
Thank you. Thank you. This year's been good. A little quiet and cold, but it's been pretty good. It's thawing out finally, at least for a
Yes,
few
it is
people.
officially springtime. The flowers are blooming, and down here in South Carolina, where I'm at, the bees are already to come out and pollinate everything and get on my nerves. The pollen is out. We're already seeing it starting to pile up on our porch, and we're having to keep everything sanitized. You guys know if you're in the South, if you're like in Georgia or South Carolina, where I'm at, the pollen is real low. So yes, it can trigger your allergies and everything bad, cause your eyes to water, but we are here. I can't complain. I'm happy that it's officially springtime. Now, Women's History Month. Women's History Month. All throughout this week, we are going to be getting into some trivia. We're going to do that later in the show with James here. We're going to be quizzing his knowledge on and Broadway and theater because James here himself is a theater connoisseur. So we'll be getting into that a little bit later. But before we get into that, overall, what are you looking forward to? Because it is award show season. There's a lot of press. There's going to be a lot of black faces on Broadway heading to the stage. I know you guys know I'm a hottie, and y'all know I love Megan Thee Stallion. She is going to be in Chicago, y'all. Yes. Shout outs to
Okay.
my girl Chef Sky. Welcome. Are y'all loving the chartreuse today? I had to come in perfect celebration for the spring season. And the dress, you guys can check out the whole entire dress on Instagram today. Check it out. Style by Stevie underscore daytime. Today's dress is an homage to Grace Jones. The Alaya dress that she wore. But I said, you know what? I love this dress in this color. So I'd be remiss if I didn't wear it. Perfect. But 2026, it's award show season. It's going to be a lot of new black faces on Broadway and theater. James, how are you feeling with everything that is going on a buzz?
Good, good. I'm going to an award show Saturday. Pittsburgh Film Office is giving it. We used to have it on the same night as the Oscars, but no one could ever hear the awards because we were always talking so much. So we started having it the day before. Um, so that'll be this Saturday night. As far as some of the nominees and all, I've seen some of the films, and I mean, I think the money was spent on them. They had the right actors and the right cinematography, but I just didn't. The storylines, I don't think were Oscar level. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's some I haven't seen though, and I would like to see those.
I must say, someone who I'm pretty sure you've ran into close proximity or rubbed shoulders with, that's Delroy Lindo, who long overdue. When I found out that he was nominated for an Oscar for Sinners, like Sinners is up for 16 nominations. And I was talking with Carolyn, one of my guests that I had on the show Monday, and she called me after we did our sit down conversation. She said, "Girl, did you see Sinners? I saw it 5 times. She saw it 5 times. I haven't seen it yet. So y'all don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. But I am definitely gonna take the time and sit down and watch the film because it is good and it is for the culture. Ryan Coogler, what he's doing is for the moment because he is giving black actors, people who look like myself, who look like James, who
Mm.
look like my audience, and in a time where they're erasing, black actors off of everything, black entertainment, black culture. I'm going to take you back. We're going to talk about the Harlem Renaissance and how that broke down doors for a lot of black entertainers to get out where we're at right now across all parts of the United States of America. But I want to talk about Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo long overdue for him to be nominated for an Oscar because I'm just like, you got Denzel, you got so many great actors, you got Sidney Poitier, you got Denzel, but what about Delroy as well too? So
Yeah.
It's amazing that Delroy is getting his flowers and his recognition like long overdue. So congratulations to him. So I just wanted to be remiss if I didn't say Delroy as well. Definitely.
I agree. Never worked with him. I would have liked to. Well, will like to, but I think he deserved an award for Malcolm X, and that's when he
Oh
first
yeah.
got my real attention.
Mm. And it's so crazy. You mentioned that Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett. We literally had to. I literally thought I was gonna have to take my earrings off and go up there to the Oscars board myself. I'm like, this woman played Tina Turner. Yesterday, me and my guest LaTroy, I call him my South Carolina brother because we are both from South Carolina. We were talking about Tina Turner. And we had to list our top five women in music. And my top five, the last that I finally got to was Tina Turner. And you can't talk about Tina Turner without Angela Bassett because she did such an outstanding job of portraying her and the strength, the mindset of being able to tap into everything that she's endured, that she's been through. She said it was very strenuous in an interview to portray Tina Turner because it was a lot of training. And I give her credit for it all the time. If you go back and you look at her body was on point. I'm like, my God, woman. Like her legs, her arms, everything, she was toned. She looked good, y'all, in that film. But I was like, I know she's got to be mentally tired because this story, Tina Turner's story from then to now, being this international queen of rock and roll and inspiring so the women, not just in the music world, but women on the journalist side or on the writer side, like myself. So I mean, it's long overdue that she got her Oscar. I was like, don't give her an honorary Oscar, just give her an Oscar the same way you would any other
I mean,
actress. So
yeah,
there was a whole conversation about that. Yeah, but she deserves it. So yeah, we literally had to fight. But when you think about Malcolm X, you got to bring up Angela and Denzel.
and
Outstanding
then
job. And Giancarlo Esposito as
yeah,
well too. You guys know him from
yeah,
School Days.
yeah,
So shout outs to him as well, to extraordinary actor, and I feel like he's another, just like Delroy, who doesn't get their flowers enough. So it's important that we are giving all of these incredible artists and innovators and filmmakers their flowers because this year we've lost so many people, like Catherine O'Hara. I mean, she was a part of my childhood from what was the film that she did? Beetlejuice, and then Home Alone. She was the mom on Home Alone. So every Christmas, that's a part of,
yeah,
even in my adult years, that's still a part of my childhood. I
sure.
look back at Home Alone. That was a film. So we
Yeah,
lost so many. So give people their flowers while they're here. More importantly, definitely.
yeah, I agree.
All right, fashion dolls. So, with that being said, we're going to shift gears here. We covered on award show season. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Women's History Month. James, we know the world revolves around us. Women, we make the world go round. We bend so much of ourselves and give so much to the industry. Who are the women who've inspired, shaped you because you are this amazing actor? You are so
Thank
incredible
you.
at what you do. You studied hard. You are a vet. You are a legend in the business. I'm curious to know, who are the women who motivated you to get going in this business? And I know your mom had to be a part of that journey. And I'm like, the reason why I started Style by for anything had my mom wouldn't have, birthed me and brought me into this world. Growing up out of a family of four brothers, two sisters, my mom, I'm the third born. So she was just like, after she had my brother and my sister, she was like, I ain't having no more kids. And that's what our moms always say, I ain't having no more kids. But we wind up with another sibling. So here I am in the picture. If it wasn't for her, y'all wouldn't have a Style by Stevie. So I give credit to my mom every single day. My mom means the world to me. And she will always forever be a part of my success story and journey. So who are the women who molded you growing up?
Well, I got to start with my mother, because
Yes.
the women. I mean, for the most part, they play such a great role in your life and in your formation. My mother had 10 kids. After the first one, the
Ooh,
doctor told her she shouldn't have any
yeah.
more. So she had nine more. I'm the youngest boy of six. And the thing about mothers, I mean, they just really they're necessary. You know, guys that die and sometimes you hear about guys dying in war and 20, 30 years old and they're hollering for their mama as they're dying. Never heard nobody hollering for their daddy. You know, there's something spiritual about the mother. You know, women. I mean, I'm just surprised that women are second class citizens even up to this day in many countries, because I think women are smarter than men. They're less aggressive. They don't, they're not as aggressive, and I think they don't get the credit they do, which is just even equality. But some of the women that impressed me were people like Mary McLeod Bethune, who started a college
Ooh.
when they were lynching a black person a day, and then to make a college down south where they don't even want you to drink from the same water fountain. That had to be quite an accomplishment. People like Madam C.J. Walker, who started a business and became a millionaire, in the turn of the century, um, in spite of all the stuff that was probably against her. Being black and a woman, at that time they couldn't vote, couldn't smoke, but she's going to start a educational business that educated 10,000 women or more, um, and people like you know um, the modern day actresses like Cicely Tyson. And what's so funny about her is
Oh,
she's such a beautiful woman. And when I first saw her in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, she played a 103-year-old woman or something. So they had her made up, and she played old women almost all her life. So only time I saw her in her real makeup was at the Academy Awards. I'm like, oh my God, she's a beautiful young lady. And then one day she did grow old, and she still played the old roles to a T. So I had a chance of working with her on House of Cards, I believe, for a couple episodes. I think it was House of Cards, and I think she's very powerful. And people who make a legacy and leave tracks for other people to go on, that's that then you know it's worth living, or their lives were worth living.
absolutely. And she was such a gem. To find out that the news of her passing away, it still seems like you got to pinch yourself like it can't be real. Like she's gone, but she left
Oh,
a
terrific.
legacy.
Yeah.
And one
Yep.
of my favorites that she did, you've mentioned the autograph of Miss Jane Pittman. She did a film with Richard Pryor, and you guys can go and check it out. It's a pretty funny film. And this is when she was young, young. She wasn't old as an
Yeah.
older woman, but this was her
Hmm.
younger years, and it was in the late 80s. It's called Bustin' Loose,
Yeah.
and it was her and Richard Pryor, and it's a pretty funny film. So I'm just like, God, this woman is just so beautiful, from the way she turns her head, and the way she spoke. She just had a certain cadence about her. And going back and looking at some of her pictures of her dressed up at the award shows, she was just a vision. She was wow. I was just like, there's one picture where she had like the flowers in her hair, and I'm like, this woman is just drop dead gorgeous. Like and yes, she is on my mood board. I have a mood board. If you
Hmm.
guys watch my videos in the morning times when because sometimes I'll do it in my room, my morning walks with Miss Stevie for my morning exercise. Because I've been on an exercise journey, losing weight and everything, and you guys can tell in the pictures. It's the curbs are back. The curbs are back. That hourglass is back, baby. um, but I have a wall of women, and I couldn't fit every single woman that I wanted to on that wall. But I said, you know what? Let me go to Pinterest over here. So in my Pinterest room, it's called EVLOTW, which is, of course, the outfit of the day. But I have one called Miss Stevie's Glam Room. James, when I tell you, it's Pam Grier in there, it's Cicely Tyson, it's Lola Falana, it's
Hmm.
who else? Who else is in there? Angela Davis. It's just Whoopi Goldberg. It's all of these
All
beautiful
pioneers.
black women who have helped shape my career. And Cicely is in there. And that one picture with her with the flowers in her
Hmm.
hair and she's smiling. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. Like, I don't think there'll ever be another Cicely Tyson, but the women who you can tell that have studied her, Viola Davis from my city of South Carolina, because she has such depth, she has such range, she has such versatility in characters. Viola Davis to me will always be the next generation or the reincarnation of Cicely Tyson because she always played these powerful women. And another actress that does it as well too is Lynn Whitfield.
Yeah.
Whether she's playing Lynn Whitfield is playing the boss. You guys, y'all watch The Shy. Y'all seen her on The Shy. Y'all know what she's capable of. Or she's
That's
playing Brandy Webb. But the
that's a
one that
heyday
saw it for me, even though the film was R-rated, I couldn't watch it. It was Josephine Baker.
there.
Josephine Baker
Yeah.
solidified her in Stumping in the Savoy. It was Janet Hubert. It was Vanessa Bell Calloway, Vanessa Williams, who I had the pleasure of sitting down with. All of these incredible women, Jasmine Guy, who just celebrated a birthday yesterday. So I'm like, wow. And they all studied theater. You can tell they all studied Cicely Tyson and their careers, but their individual selves. So everybody has had to study a teacher in some sort of way. And James, you're a teacher to so many. So I'm glad that you mentioned her because she doesn't get talked about enough. Cicely Tyson, like she
Yeah.
is was an amazing actress, and I'm pretty sure it was someone that came before her that crawled so that she could walk. And the woman that I can think of that shattered glass ceilings for African American women like myself in the business would have to be Hattie McDaniel.
Oh
And it
yeah.
goes back to what you said about us having to go to separate water fountains.
Yeah.
She when she received her Academy Award, she was told no, you couldn't go to that over there. You have to go through the back door. So if
I
it
know.
wasn't for Hattie McDaniel, we wouldn't have, even though they're both out at the same time, Cicely Tyson, Hattie McDaniel, the next generation that's coming after them years later is Holly Berry, the Kerry Washingtons of the world, the Viola Davises, the oh, it's so many. Taraji P. Henson,
Hmm.
Gabrielle Union, who I love. And shout outs to her. She watches Style by Stevie and she supports. She's liked a couple posts. So shout outs to Gabrielle Union and Larry Sims, y'all, for showing me some love on Instagram. I love y'all. And shout outs to my brother, K Tukes, host of the K Tukes Spot. We are talking about the women who've helped shape our careers as Women's History Month March. And I'm just curious to know about the women in my guest life and how they've shaped their careers and helped them. And James mentioned Cicely Tyson, and we were just pouring into her, giving her her flowers. She's no longer here with us, but still got to keep her name relevant because she's carved a path so that black actors, actresses could be seen in a room. And I can remember a quote from her saying, you make sure your presence is known. One of her things she was keen on was making sure that if you are a black actor, that if you are a black actress, that you make sure that your presence is known in that room. And she was keen about that. She did not play. And I absolutely see what she is saying. Even years later, down the line, Monique was saying the same thing,
Yeah.
about how important it is for black representation in these spaces as black women and overall as black entertainers for men and women, the entertainers
Hmm.
aspect, because we have to make sure where they're trying to push us away, they don't want us to receive awards, they don't want us to be recognized. It's important that we continue to keep speaking each other's names. And that means, I give you an example. My brother K Tukes, host of the K Tukes Spot, my colleague Bubs the God, my other colleague Conscious TV, my other colleague King Jobs, Deshaun, Alvin Tippett at this and that, Queen Spicy, Chef Sky, Naptown, all of you who poured into me and showed me so much love. A special shout out to T.S. Madison, a special shout out to Hope Giselle, and so many other. We have to make sure that we are pouring into each other more than ever because at a time in Black Hollywood where they want to erase our contributions, which leads me to the next part of our conversation, the Harlem Renaissance era, one of my favorite periods because you had Langston Hughes, you had Zora Neale Hurston, you had Ruby Dee, Ozzie Davis. I mean, oh my God. Black creatives, Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen, they're still alive and still here. These women are still here telling the stories for the next generation. Us, I'm 32. So growing up, I would have looked up to a James Howard, a Felicia Rashad, a Debbie Allen, Judith Jameson, who is no longer, Alvin Ailey. Like black arts, black entertainment in the Harlem Renaissance period was no joke. Everybody had their own lane. And it's important we keep continuing to talk about it. You've inspired us all too, sister. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And one thing I want to make sure that I'm doing while I'm here on this earth and I still have oxygen, lungs, a heart that beats, all of these things, I want to make sure that I am pouring into everybody and giving them their flowers, which is why I solely created Style by Stevie because
Okay.
again, the representation that I didn't saw on television, except for a few, if you're in the talk show space, it was a few black women who opened that door so that I can be where I'm at right now in mainstream, who inspired me to get up and speak and have a voice. And a lot of people don't know this. A little history, a little black history for you. Della Reese had a talk show. Did y'all know that? Della Reese had a talk show. Whoopi Goldberg had a talk show on HBO late nights way back in the day, and it was
Nat,
so many others
Nat King
that
Cole had
had
a
talk
talk show.
shows.
Nat,
Yes,
Nat King Cole had a talk show. I mean, a variety show. It lasted 15 minutes. They only gave
yeah,
him 15 minutes. And then they canceled it after White Lady kissed him.
my God, and that
But
just goes to show you how far we have come since then.
yeah, yeah.
How far we have come from then to now.
Well, I
Yep,
grew up in
Della
the
Reese,
60s.
she had it.
Yeah, I grew up in the 60s, and when a black person was on TV, everybody knew about it. Oh, guess who's going to be on Ed Sullivan tonight? Guess who's going to be on so and so tonight? And so that was a big thing. And a lot of that talent came out of vaudeville. A lot of it came out of Harlem, because Harlem was basically that explosion in Harlem of black excellence and culture and
Oh
entertainment.
yes, the Harlem
That came
Renaissance period.
that culminated in that one spot because that was the only place that was allowed to flourish like that. I mean, at night, anything went at night, and that spelled out into America. And then we all wanted to know what was going on uh, at all the clubs and things with the Cab Callaways and uh, Lena Horns.
I
Yeah, that
wasn't even born yet. The
no,
jazz clubs, the nightclub scene, the
no.
dancers,
You
I
weren't
mean,
born yet. You
so
weren't
many
born yet.
musicians.
You weren't born yet, but your energy was around because time is, not what we think it is. It's overlapping. And anyway, so even though you say you weren't born yet, don't think you weren't of that time. Even your ancestors were around, and your essence of them. I mean, believe me, your energy was around, and that's why we can enjoy them today, because they were captured, they were noticed and captured and appreciated, and they fought for that right, and we benefit from it today. Of course, we stand on their shoulders.
Absolutely. Next generation being able to we have to continue to share these stories of how we got our foot in the door in the entertainment business as writers, as directors, as stars of film and Broadway and television, and ones who host the platform on my side. So we all have to continue to make sure that we highlight that period because that period was it. And then it just took off from there. So many musicians came out, so many actors and actresses and writers and directors came out of that period. Poets as well too. So Langston Hughes, Lorraine Hansberry, and so many others blossomed out of that period. Intozaki Shange for Colored Girls. Y'all know her story for Colored Girls, who's another. Uh, it was the birth of so many writers in that time period. Coming up into the 70s, coming up into your own, it was the Black Power, Black Liberation. All we knew was art. We knew how to create. We knew how to continue to make people happy. And as entertainers, as whatever, if you're in that field, we continue to keep doing what we're doing, which is bringing people joy and providing an escape for them. You know, real life issues, but we're also telling the real issues as well too. So that's what art and creativity is all about, is making sure that you highlight every single thing and no corner is left unturned. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to shift gears here. Are y'all ready for some Women's History Month trivia? Some brief Women's History Month trivia. So I'm going to quiz James's knowledge, and you guys, fashion dolls in the comments, y'all let me know if you know it. All right. So here we are. Let's get into it. All right. Here's the first question. Who was the first Black woman to write a play and to perform on Broadway, James?
Oh, see, yeah, you see, well, first of all, I'm not a theater. I'm in film. I mean, yeah, I do. I've done a little theater, but I'm in film, and so because those are things that I should know. But let me think for a minute. First Black woman. Hmm, you got me on that one. Who would that be?
K Tooks, I know, is burning to type it in the comments. I know he knows this one. Y'all should know it because there was a readaptation. They recreated her her play and turned it into a film years later, and it had Sanaa Lathan, Audra McDonald in it as well, Felicia Rashad, who I love, who I feel is though hands down one of the ones on my Mount Rushmore of theater and Broadway and film. I think K Tooks might know it. So that's the clue right there. They turned it into a film. Um, I'll give you a clue. One of the lines in it. What happens to a dream
Oh,
deferred?
Raisin in the Sun. A
That's
Southern
it.
Staple. Yeah, that's a
It's
play.
Lorraine Hansberry. K Tooks got it. Shout outs to
Okay.
my girl. Faith is the substance. Make sure y'all go and check her out. Check out her platform. And Faith, you need to have James on your show. Like that would be a great interview. So much knowledge all wrapped into one. This legend I am sitting next to right here is royalty. So definitely. I'm giving some of my guests to Faith. Y'all go and check her out. Um, amazing Black woman, beautiful, sweet as cherry pie. And I did an interview with her, so you guys can go and check that out. Shout outs to my girl, my sis. Faith is the substance. Y'all go and check her out. All right, here's the next one. Which theater became the first Broadway venue named after a Black woman in 2022? And I'll give you a clue. It's she had a song, and Fred Sanford would always sing it on Sanford and Son. Um, and she came on the show.
Hmm. Mm,
It's a type of, I'll give you a clue. It's a type of weather. You know what type of weather?
yeah.
Sometimes we'll have. When it's really bad outside. And she wrote a whole song about it.
Um, Lena Horne.
That's it. And for those of you who don't know, it's the Lena Horne Theater, formerly the Brooks Atkinson Theater. So yes, it was Lena Horne, Stormy Weather, and hats off to her as well, to dynamic entertainer, and I think she will truly be missed.
She was a.
I was scrolling down on eBay because you guys know I collect a lot of vintage beauty and fashion magazines, and it's what you guys have to go and check out her Essence cover she did. I was like, my oh my, if this woman didn't age backwards, she is drop dead gorgeous. And she was just joyful on the cover. It's like surprise on her face. I'm like, man, but guess how much they wanted for the cover, y'all? They wanted $100 for it. I'm like, ain't no way in the hell I'm paying that much for that cover right there. I was like, it'll stay right there. Lena looks beautiful. I wanted it so bad because I collect Essence magazines, and I would probably share some of my stories after the show once I'm through with James so you guys can see. But I do collect those things. But yes, the seller wanted $100 for it. And I'm like, for one magazine? Come on now.
And she's from
But
She's from Pittsburgh, you know. She was in
Yes.
Pittsburgh along with Billy Eckstein. Um, um, what's what's the guitar player? Well, that's quite a few. That's quite a few from Pittsburgh. But she's from Pittsburgh.
The talent in Pittsburgh, the talent in Chicago, it's like it's everywhere nationwide. And she put it on the map. I mean, from acting to singing to doing stage to doing all of these things, she solidified herself. So, hats off and rest in grace to Lena Horne. She will truly be missed. Again, we've lost so many iconic female entertainers, performers. Like Ruby Dee was one of my favorites. Ruby Dee is another, and she will be a forever missed gem. Don't sleep on her. Like, go back and look at some of her older work before she got into Spike. You saw her in the Spike Lee films. And shout outs to Spike Lee for believing in black artists and actors and actresses. We talked about Malcolm X and Delroy Lindo and Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett earlier, and how black artists have shifted and have the culture for the next generation. Okay, here's the last one. Y'all should know this. Who was the first black woman to win a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical? And I'll give you a clue. The champagne is burnt.
So you got me on that one. I'm gonna think for a minute. Um,
K Tooks knows it because he says it to me when he calls me on the phone. He'll say I either remind him from Quad of Married to Medicine or this particular actress right here. He'll say it to me sometimes as well too, and people will send me memes and gifts with it. It's so funny. This line was a classic line she said. Faith said, "Come on, Mr. Howard, you're an OG."
yeah, no,
I know
not from
Faith
theater.
knows it. Somebody knows it in here. Tamron Hall dressed up as her for Halloween, and the classic line was, "The champagne is burnt."
I
That's
don't
the
know.
clue right there. Diane Carroll, who is my big fashion
Yeah,
inspiration.
yeah.
Um, Dynasty was one of my grandmother's favorite shows growing up to watch. My father told me, he was like, because your grandmother used to sit and watch the soaps, and Dynasty was one of the shows. And then years later, that's when I found out about Dynasty in my adult years. I mean, I've seen her in the Five Heartbeats, of course, and many other projects.
She was the
A
first.
Different World, her and Patti LaBelle
She
had
was.
their exchange.
I think she was the first black
Yes,
female. She was the first black female to have a primetime TV show.
Julia.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Julia. Don't sleep on Julia now.
No, yeah, she was pretty.
She
I think
was
they did the
gorgeous,
anthem.
and
Yeah.
and she was so classy on Dynasty. I'm like, this woman changes up her fashion more than I change up my nails, and I'm just like, she is one of my biggest fashion inspirations. Like, kudos to Diane Carroll for setting the pace for other African American women like myself, like a Faith is the Substance, and so many others to come right after her. So
Yeah.
she will be missed. She will definitely be missed. It is Diane Carroll. All right, fashion dolls. So we just gonna shoot the breeze right now. You get to ask me and James some questions. It's Women's History Month, so in the comments right now, let me know some of the women who've inspired you in your life. And I know, like I said, my mom will always be one. My grandmother, who's turning 82 this year, y'all. I spoke with my grandmother earlier, and she still got the energy of a 20-year-old. Like, when I tell y'all, I'm happy to have her in my life, because it's one thing she would always tell me, and y'all hear me tell it to y'all all the time. She said, "Don't get so big that you forget where you came from and the ones who've helped you, because just as fast as you got in this business, God will always have a way of humbling you." And trust me, she was right, because I could have lost my talk show, I could have lost everything. But I said, "Yeah, Grandma, you're right." So I always, before I come on, my ritual is I pray. I always have a candle lit somewhere. I always make sure that I rehearse my questions, do my research, all of that, of course. That's what I do before I come on. Of course, get the hair and makeup done, but I like everything to run smoothly. So a prayer is definitely missed. My grandmother, she's encouraged me. She said, pray, make sure you pray, make sure you manifest whatever it is and dream and go after what you want to. So this is my mom's mom. So thankful to have her. My aunts, my mom's sister, is a particular sister that has the same type of energy that me and my mom has, and she's the youngest. That's my aunt Connie. My aunt Connie is the she's the little sass, the firecracker of the group. If you make her mad. But overall, she is sweet and I love her down. I can talk to her about anything and she is so supportive. That's my mom's sisters. My mom has three sisters. It's four of them all together. And she has me. There's my aunt Judy who went to beauty school. There's my aunt Patricia, who's more so both of them, they went to college and everything. And then there's my aunt Connie. So she's the youngest out of them. So each woman, each sister, my mom included. My mom's a little bit of a firecracker too. I told y'all she's a Libra, so y'all see where I get the energy from, the passion, the desire, the the fight, the not giving up, the persistency. K Tooks will tell you. I'm like, K Tooks, what am I gonna do with her? She's driving me crazy. But these are your mothers. These, you gotta thank your mom. Your moms will drive you crazy, but you know, pour into them, give them their flowers while they're here. Because I remember watching an interview with Kelly Rowland, and it was with Scott Evans' house, I think it's House Guest, his show on YouTube. And she was talking about her mother and becoming a mom herself and losing her mother. And she just broke down crying like, we know Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina, took her in as her own mother. And she just started crying. So Kelly Rowland, what she said was brilliant, which is basically, celebrate your moms, pour into them because when they're long gone, they're no longer here. You're all that's left. Everything that they've taught you, the gems, the knowledge that they've taught you, will live with you forever. And my mom, she watches some of the interview clips. She watches the fashion, the glamour, everything. She has a say so in it because she's also a part of my journey. And she will say, I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you of being able to find that balance. I was like, you taught me that because our mothers sacrificed so much for us, and my mom is the one that was sacrificed to make sure that me and my brothers and my sister also had as well too. So that's the beauty of it is being around the women in your life, your mothers, your grandmothers who pour knowledge into you, who you can call. And I know my mom, we call every day. I'll call K Tooks. I'm like, K Tooks, she's driving me crazy. What are we gonna do now? He's just like, I understand you. I get you. We love him down, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And the things, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I'm trying to fight back those tears, y'all. Nope, y'all ain't gonna make me do it. But I'm just so thankful to have her in my life because there have been times when I thought that she would have been gone. She would have been gone. My mom has survived so much, been through so much, car accidents, all of that, and so much more. And to see her resilience of how she bounced back. Because women, we have a way of bouncing back. We don't care. We can have 102-degree fever and have on heels and still keep pressing on like nothing is wrong. I told y'all I did a show with a sinus infection. And after that, it was no more. I'm like, I always got to try to prove it. I was trying to fight it off. Because, like Faith said, you got to be that OG, you got to be a gangster. But that next few days after that show, James, when I tell you I was feeling it, y'all, I said, no more. No more after that. That was way before I met K2. But see, again, that's the power of a woman. Our strength to keep going through sickness, through all of it, through injury, anything. I give you another example. She's one of my favorite entertainers. Y'all know I love this woman. She is the blueprint. Y'all have compared me as far as work skill and her showmanship. That is Beyonce. Beyonce injured herself on stage, and it's a performance. I think it was for Tidal, one of those things at the time. Her earring rips out of her ear, and she's bleeding here. And she is still performing. Face beautiful, giving the audience what they want. That's the power of a woman. Through injury, through anything, we still keep pressing on. you know. But we also make sure that we're finding time for ourselves. So hats off to all of the women in my life. My girl Faith is the substance. My girl Stephanie, my cousin Sherry, who's coming on the show, and I'm gonna get her take on what it's like. She's married now. She's a wife and she's an ordained minister. And not only that, but she is a businesswoman and she is co-owner here of my show, Style by Stevie. And I'm so thankful that God put her in my life. And we met at a family cookout. I didn't even know she existed. But she came in and it was just like a celebrity came into the room and everything. And my cousin, I think one of my cousins was saying, Sherry, Sherry. I was like, who is this? So we linked up, we exchanged numbers, and we started going shopping together. And I said, oh, yeah, we love to shop. We love to eat. Yeah. We cousins for real, for real, for real. And we were just talking about the family history and everything. And we always have a good time. And y'all see that whenever we're together. What you see on the screen is what you're going to get off the screen as well too, y'all. So my cousin will be joining me. Yes, my actual blood cousin. She'll be coming on the show this Friday, March 13th. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. Her birthday is coming up, and it's Women's History Month, so why not? Again, she's been a great influence in my life. Who's another? Carolyn Jones, who was here on the show Monday. Right after we did our girl talk, we we talked on the phone for a little bit. And she was like, "Girl, you make sure you call." We were just having a good time. We were having a good time. So another would be Rashida Randall, my girl Ro Underwood, my sister Circle, Nikila Nikki Brown, Hope Ellis, uh, my girlfriend Felicia, who y'all hear me talk about all the time, my sister, my classmate. We went to school together. And we talk and text almost every day. The same way K22 texts me. They'll both be texting me at the same time. So thankful for her. Thankful for who else? My girl Chastity, Hypnotic Skincare. Thankful for my girl Abby Reviews. Shout outs to her. We haven't done a collab in a minute, so shout outs to my girl Abby Reviews. She co-hosted with me back, in 2020, 2021. So y'all go and head on over and subscribe to her channel as well. Shout outs also to my girl, Dr. Debrina Sandifer. Another shout out goes to Savanya McIntosh. Make sure y'all go and check her out. I went on her platform as well too. So y'all go and check that out as well. Another shout out. Can you hear me? Yes. Yes. They want to know, am I still talking to James? Yes. And the
Yes.
women we're thankful for. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we were saying. Can y'all hear me? Y'all know the drill. If you can hear me, give me some green hearts. If you can see me, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're just celebrating and pouring into the women in our lives more than anything. A very special shout outs to, oh my God, all of you, all of the amazing people in my life, mostly women. Another woman, Alexis. Shout outs to my girl, Diva. Diva, Diva. Um, all of y'all who have stuck with me, it they endure everything. And Diva knows because I'm closest to Diva and Faith, all of them. But Diva will message me like, "How you doing? You good? You all right? How you feeling, girl?" Chef Sky's another Queen Spicy, Miles Way. All of the amazing women that I've come to run in past. So many of y'all looking amazing, Stevie. Thank you, girl. This little nod to Grace Jones, y'all like it? The inspiration is up on Instagram. You guys can check it out. The Alaya look, the purple Alaya she did, but I said I want chartreuse. So chartreuse, I don't know what it is about green or olive green. It just chef's kiss, chef's kiss. So before we wrap, Fashion Dolls, do we have any questions for myself or James? Because this was so much fun. Going back and reminiscing, we covered everything from the Harlem Renaissance to the award show season coming up. and so much more in the future and in the horizon for each and every one of us. So make sure that you're staying tuned. So before we wrap, James, what would you give to the women? What advice or gems would you give to the women in our lives, or just to the women that are watching Style by Style? What would you tell them?
I don't think there's much I can add to what women have done, black women especially. And I say keep on doing what you're doing because the thread, women are the thread, they're the functional thread, I mean, in our fabric. And the author said keep doing what you're doing because we would not be where we are here without strong women. And I think women have done a better job than men have in terms of being
Yes.
caretakers for the earth. So I say keep on doing what you're doing.
All right. All right. That was my dad.
Okay.
Still in Orangeburg. Still in Orangeburg.
Hmm?
And we're gonna take some questions from the we got a question for you too as well too, James. I'm sorry. Multitask. But I'm gonna get the final thought in a minute. But before we get to the final thought that I would give for Women's History Month, um, K Tooks wants to know what's your favorite project that you've done, period.
I think I worked on Fences with Denzel and Viola Davis, and I worked on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with those two and Chadwick Boseman. And so
Mm,
I think recreating an August Wilson play into film in his own neighborhood amongst those, uh, amongst those giants and August Wilson's neighbors. Um, those to me are probably the most memorable and most enjoyable time that I've had. Sometimes I wonder if it's the highest paying or the most visibility, but I think it's the ones I had the most fun on. And those two were almost spiritual.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, happy Wednesday if you're just coming in. Any more questions, Fashion Dolls? I can give the final thought and then we can come back and do some questions. I can stay a little bit and we can do some questions for James or myself, Fashion Dolls. So, the final thought of the day, which ties into Women's History Month. And today's quote comes from Angela Davis, who I love. She says, "We are never assured of justice without a fight." It's going to be a long fight ahead for each and every one of us, but I want everybody to remain resilient. I want everybody to make sure that you're protecting your peace as well too, which is what we covered on Monday's show. And make sure that you are forming that tribe. Every woman that I've shouted out, from Diva to Kimani to Chef Sky to Spicy to Faith to so many, Abby Reviews, shout outs to her. Shout outs to all of the amazing women in my life, my cousin Sherry, my mom, all of the amazing. Um, this fight is going to be led by women. We've always, like James said, we've put ourselves, we are the thread or the crust, everything that built this earth, women. So what I want to say to everybody is make sure that you are pouring into the women in your lives. That means your mom. Cherish your mother because you only get one. You only get one. Trust me. And I'm thankful for mine. That woman has given so many sacrifices, so many field trips, so many things. I mean, gave us our allowances when we were younger, when we were kids. I mean, all of these things. Tooth missing, the tooth fairy, she was all of that. She made sure we had Christmas. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mother. And I'm thankful for her because she said right after she said I'm not having no more kids. You was not playing. And I was like, I didn't know that. So I was not a planned pregnancy, y'all. But if she didn't birth me and bring me into this world, y'all wouldn't have a Style by Stevie. And she loves the show. She loves the platform. Now, some of the fashions, you know how mothers are. They are just like, girl, that's Y'all know Miss Stevie loves sexy fashions. I'm gonna put it out there. I love it. I embrace it. And she's like, "Girl, that skirt is too short. Girl, that tank top." And you just like, "That's too much leg." So yes, mothers will let you know, but she's like, "It's tastefully done." And that comes from my mom, having that Christian upbringing. But I tell her, you know what? I'm my own person, my own identity. My own woman now. I'm grown woman. I'm not, a little kid anymore. So tapping into that sensuality, that femininity, I'm just like, okay, I can embrace it fully now at 32 years old, because as I get older, it's gonna diminish, it's gonna go away, but it will still be there. You'll age gracefully. So yeah, I'm not in a hurry for that. But just remember, we are not in this fight alone. There's going to be amazing, remarkable women on the front lines out here as well too. And the ones that inspire me: Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Angela Davis, my girl Hope Giselle, and so many others who I see who are out here doing the work. Jasmine Crockett, who is another, uh, Katanji Brown Jackson, all of these women who are fighting, putting themselves on the line, who are using their platforms. Jennifer Lewis is another as well too. The mother, we call her the mother of Black Hollywood, and y'all need to go check out her book, Laughing in My Joy, and then the mother of Black Hollywood. Like, Jennifer Lewis is the truth. Like, to hear some of her stories, like you could sit and listen to her talk all day. It's just like, wow, her sharing stories of her upbringing, what she had to go through to get where she's at, and be where she's at in this business. Um, who's another Black woman who's using their voice and their platform as well, also? That would be Simone Sanders. You guys see her on MSNBC. So shout outs to her. All of these amazing Black women who are leading the catalyst for change. So Jennifer Lewis is one. T.S. Madison is another. All of these incredible Black women who are fighting, upholding the rule of law, using their platforms to speak out. So shout outs to all of those incredible ladies that I just named. And yes, there is going to be a different world reboot. And guess who else is going to be in that? Tashina Arnold Martin. You guys know her as Pamela Martin. Her daughter Elijah has been casted in the show as well too. So you get to see Alexa. I was about to say Alexis. Elijah spread her wings as an actress, and you can tell she's got her mom's personality. So again, that next generation is coming along. So that's it for sure. For sure. So that's my final thought. Oh yes, fresh new faces, beautiful cast, and then you're gonna see the OGs. Jasmine Guy is gonna be there. Jennifer Lewis is gonna be there. I thought I saw Kadeem Hardison. I mean, all of them. Yeah, Charnel Brown is who's an amazing acting coach, and coach in general. Shout outs to her. Again, another Black woman who paid the blueprint for Black entertainers. Jasmine Guy, theater, television, music. She's done it all. So the all of the OGs. Who else? Ooh, I forgot her name. I forgot her name. I know she plays Freddie. That's horrible, y'all. I forgot her name. What is the actress name? Y'all help me out. I forgot her name. Some of them. Oh my God. Oh man. Cree Summer. Thank you. Cree Summer, who is another Black woman that is using her platform. And she's very strategic when she does it as well too. Not only give it up to Cree Summer as well too. She voiced some of our favorite cartoon characters. Yeah. You would never know. She's voiced so many cartoon characters. You would never know because her voice is so distinct. But we know her as Freddie on A Different World. She's gonna be on there as well too. So it's amazing to see the next generation and then the OGs. So y'all stay tuned for that. But that's all I got for today, Fashion Dolls. Before we wrap with our Legend over here, James Howard, Susie Carmichael, and Elmira. That's right. And she's done a dozen others as well, too, brother. So hats off to Cree Summers for just opening that door for black women to get into animation and to be able to do voiceover as well, too. So shout outs to her. But today's show was a good one. Another one for the books as well, Fashion Dolls. Any last questions for myself or James before we wrap up? And James, any gems that you would give to the fashion dolls that are watching because they love your work as well as myself? What would you tell them?
I'd say don't be afraid to live your dreams. Takes a little courage to execute them sometimes, but don't be afraid to live your dreams. And we're the author of our own story, so we get to write what we want to write. So you know, live the way you want to live and do what you want to do. Life is short, and let everybody know why you're here. Why you're here. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. And people wants to know what projects do you have coming up?
Well, I'm working on the fifth season of Mayor of Kingstown. I played the police the past 4 seasons. And You see. Otherwise, things I've been doing mostly is billboards, commercials, and print ads. You know, so if you go into your doctor's office, you might see me with a stethoscope on the wall, something like that. But as far as film projects, that's all I got working right now. Now we do have some plays coming up at the Pittsburgh Playwrights in Pittsburgh. One of them is going to be August Wilson's Jitney, which will be in Italian. So people coming from Italy to perform August Wilson's Jitney in Italian. They've done it once there, and they're going to do it here in Pittsburgh. So if you go to PPTCO, Pittsburgh Playwrights and Theater Company, PPTCO, our full schedule is on that website. And if you plan on visiting Pittsburgh, drop me a line. I'm on Facebook, and let me know you're coming, and we'll roll out the red carpet for you.
There you have it. And you mentioned Mayor of Kingstown. My guest that I had on last week, not too long ago, Daylon Burks, is also on the show. So you guys can catch James and Daylon Burks on Mayor of Kingstown. Stay tuned for that. Jeremy Renner's in the show. So y'all go and check that out as well too. And that's on Paramount, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all go and check it out. And Eva says she will check that out as well. All right, fashion dolls. So make sure y'all go and support Pittsburgh talent. And Diva says, thank you so much, James.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Fashion dolls. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This was a great show. Another one for the books. And we have two more great shows this week. Joining me tomorrow, we have another amazing actor as well, too. After this amazing icon sitting over here to my right, James Howard. QL Howard will be joining me tomorrow. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. So we got another Howard, keeping up with the Howards. QL Howard will be joining me tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in. And I love y'all all, fashion dolls. Till next time, and make sure y'all catch up on the replays, hype them up. Make sure y'all thumbs up, tap that bell, and get the first option so you for all notifications because you'll be alerted when I come home. And yes, God bless all of us. Make sure you guys are staying safe, vigilant, and aware, and supporting one another, supporting the creators that come in the chat and make this a substance. K2s. I know Faith has a show slated for this week, so y'all make sure y'all check her out as well to stay tuned and sub to her channel. Bubs the God will pop up randomly and go live. Uh, K Toops will be back. Make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. To him and Tony have a live planned on the 19th. So y'all make sure y'all tune in Thursday, March 19th, for my brother K Toops and my other colleague Tony Holly, the Tony Holly Show. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. And I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow, Fashion Dolls. Till next time.
All right. Take care.